Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to BattleTech Heavy Metal, where we have the heavy metal, and we're gonna... I don't have it, man. Intros? Listen, who has time for this stuff? Let's blow some things up. So, 3 skull, 1 million sea bills. I think this is where we're going. We still... Our big mechs are in pretty good shape. We should try to knock out these more difficult missions, and if we have to leave logistical breakdown by the side of the road, I guess I'm okay with it. Wait, is this? This is against the pirates. So this is going to drop us into the next branch of hatedness. It's really, really hard and tedious to climb up from low approval with factions. I think this is maybe a little bit of an issue with the way they designed the reputation system. The fact that your reputation limits your max contract difficulty has a really unfortunate reinforcing effect with the fact that low difficulty contracts award less rep, generally, it seems like. So if we get down to negative 40 whatever with the pirates, I'm going to have to claw our way up doing 1 and 1.5 skull missions that award like 2 and 3 rep each, which is going to involve an awful lot of just flying around looking for those. Then again, maybe we could just... We're making enough money. Maybe we could just pay the really exorbitant fee. As long as we don't get into the bottom portion of the reputation bar. Right, because I think there's another one below whatever's below disliked. That's the one we really don't want to be in. What are the other... Yeah, and see, like, it's not even really possible for us to climb our rep back up by being on planets that we would like to be on, because we don't have access to the jobs there. This is also against the pirates. Also against the pirates, and... Okay, Federated Suns, that's whatever, who cares? Man, maybe I don't think I want to drop our reputation that low. Because right now we're limited to 1.5 skulls. If we drop any lower, we're going to be limited to half skulls. Well, probably 1 skull and then half skulls. Do we want to ally with the Free Worlds League yet? It would affect our Capellan Confederation rep considerably. It wouldn't really... Like, it'll give us access to a special flashpoint with them and also their special faction shop. It's not necessarily a bad idea. I think let's wait until we have bigger mechs, because I believe, if I remember correctly, the faction-specific flashpoints are very difficult. But we'll do that at some point. I don't think I want to drop our pirate rep again. As much as it's like a shame to leave a system with jobs unfinished. And it really is, given the amount of money that's on the table here. Let's just do this thing. We'll bang out this Federated Suns thing real fast. And then we'll see what's what. Sorry, hold on a second. I don't actually want 2 pieces of priority salvage on this. Yeah, let's do that. It's very difficult to maintain high pirate rep. Partially because of the issues that I'm talking about here. And I think I'm fine with this crew, right? Do we want to maybe... At 2.5 skulls, you have to imagine we're going to be able to get through it fairly easily. Let's... I really don't want to lose either of the heat reductions, though. Yeah, we'll just keep running it like this. It might be a little bit overkill to put in more than 2 pilots who are underneath our top rank. Like, I want to level people up quickly, but also, we do have to make sure we can actually get the job done. Yeah, I don't know, man. The reputation system's rough. I'll say this. It does make you make some choices. It's what you want from your game mechanics, to cause some actual difficult choices. So in that sense, I guess maybe it's working exactly as they intended. But boy, it sure is tedious to climb back up, and we're already in a place where it's going to be pretty tedious to climb back up. That said, it's fun to be friends with the pirates in a certain way. They do sometimes make you do a war crime, but who among us has not made our friends perform a war crime? That's just what happens out here in the robot murdering future. Alright, assault a base, blow up the base. Get near the base, and then blow it up. Got it. There's an awful lot of text there, Darius, for you to be telling me that we're just doing the same thing we always do. Alright, got a Griffin 1N. I mean, we just run directly at the enemy, right? It's not rocket science. Actually, portions of it are kind of a branch of rocket science.
Have no doubt it will be done.
Let's just let them run up on us and fire into our huge cloud of evasion particles. I guess grouping your guys up does limit the value of evasion to some degree. It's a lot harder to actually take advantage of it because our units are all given stray shots on everything. I sort of want to run forward and tag that Griffin with the aim shot now just to push his initiative down so that somebody else could shoot at him. No, I'm just gonna reserve. I didn't want him to get the opportunity to get a bunch of evasion charges by moving, but also I do want to make sure that the aimed shot goes on the Marauder.
What can I do for you?
So it's a Cicada, a Griffin, and a Vindicator. Boy, it's not even the good Griffin.
I hear ya.
Just terrible work from our opponents. Who do we want to kill most? I guess I don't know that it matters terribly. You have 70, 90. You have 90, 100. And actually, this is a slightly more dangerous enemy, I guess. You replace 5 of the LRMs with a medium laser. That means the damage focuses a little bit better, at least.
Coordinates received.
So, bad news, buddy. You are both potentially more dangerous and also easier to kill. Bad combination.
All weapons are go.
Should have thought of that before you moved forward on your turn.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Then, of course, brute force. Hold on. Speaking of brute force, let's make it the crab's turn. Right, base has turrets. That makes sense.
How might I help?
Alright, where are we at on this? Oh, 19. That's a real shame. I was hoping we were in a place where a kill from the crab would allow for a precision strike to offset some of that nonsense over there. Let's just go ahead and fire everything.
Target confirmed.
Everything-ish. You know, all the stuff we reasonably can.
What can I do for you?
Boy. I sure wish this was going better. What about... Hold on, let's have Hardlight move next. We can achieve a knockdown here. Actually, yeah. We can achieve a knockdown here, and then we can shoot at him while he's on the floor and maybe get a slightly better result. That's not even the useful arm.
Critical damage detected.
But okay, we give him the AC-10 plus the
I hear ya.
plus the 2 medium lasers into something kind of sensitive, and maybe it's enough to make a difference. I mean, obviously, it'd be pretty good to get rid of that right torso, but he's just going to stand up and punch us anyway. Well, I may as well, since I can't, even with full center damage, I wouldn't core him. It's going to be this plus 1 more mech either way we do it. Nice of them to shoot at the Marauder.
Come on, mech warriors. It's go time.
Don't see much reason to fire at that 5 evasion Cicada over there. Now we can finish the job.
Commencing Alpha strike.
We didn't, but we could have.
And stay down.
I hit the cockpit and just killed the pilot. That works too. You know, actually, that doesn't come up all that much, but it should be really easy. Once they're on the ground, you just put like a single autocannon shell clean through the cockpit. Jumping is probably a little a little bit ambitious. We could run up here. I'm probably going to have to vent to do this, aren't I? Nope, not quite. It turns out we did install enough heat sinks.
All weapons committed.
Target destroyed.
I'm really pleased with this Warhammer. I've been saying a lot of happy things about the Marauder, and don't get me wrong, the Marauder is a victory of engineering. No two ways about it. But honestly, I'm excited about the prospect of getting to use this Warhammer in actual difficult fights. Like, it puts up very silly numbers, and I think it's going to be much better at remaining effective than some of our designs have been, regardless of the heat and circumstances.
Moving out.
And a big mech with the kind of mobility it has and everything, it's nice. It's a nice thing to have. Alright, give me vision.
On my way.
Let's say... Which one do I think is... This one. You're the LRM guy.
I've got a sensor lock.
No, you are bad, though. You are a thing I need to not exist.
Good to go.
Well, this should be very, very easy to deal with. How much health does that have? Actually, a really large amount. A really, large and annoying amount. We're gonna have to do this and then also supplement with somebody else's attack. Fortunately, can I not... I was gonna say, fortunately, the snub PPCs have longer range than you might expect, but not long enough. There's the LRM turret. So, in theory, one of the PPCs should be enough. I'll leave both of the lasers on, though,
Engaging target.
just to clean up for any projectiles that go a little bit wide.
Target destroyed.
And our heat generation should cover that.
As you wish.
Sensor lock, not not super valuable, actually. We don't actually have to kill these
Enemy
turrets,
reinforcements detected.
but yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is I think there's a chance that once we engage with any of the buildings, it's gonna spawn more mechs on us, and I don't want the turrets to be around when that happens.
Target destroyed.
I was expecting it to wait till we actually dealt some damage, but hey, what are you gonna do? Alright, so we got 45 and 55 coming in. Let's take out the sniper turret, because I don't want to have to deal with this.
Locked on.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Let's take a cooldown turn here. Let's go back to 0 heat.
Target destroyed.
You have orders?
And then there's not really a compelling reason for me to shoot at any buildings. So we'll just come up here, and I'm going to sensor lock this turret, because I need to know what it is.
Sensors locked on.
Okay, a shredder, so it's irrelevant to the actual mech fighting. It will not be able to participate. I was hoping that they were not going to be able to get range on us. Only I underestimated the movement speed of a 50-ton mech.
I'm taking a pounding, Commander. Commander?
Alright, well, we'll see what we can do about it. So unfortunately, this guy's still pretty warm. Shadowhawk has an AC5, Vindicator. I mean, these guys are both in sort of like a medium tier dangerousness kind of area. I will say, some of the reason that this thing looks so effective is that Returned at this point has so many points in his skills that he has this super high heat threshold. We definitely would have had to blow the coolant by now, if this was anybody else. I think we just go dead center on this. Right, there's not, yeah, I'm not... No point in playing games. Let's just try to knock the middle out of his mech.
Good to go.
Alright, it turns out there's ammunition in there, so probably we can make this work. Do I want to use the Marauder? You know what? I want to see if we can do this without the Marauder, actually. Let's put you... There's not really any kind of cover to run to, sadly. Put you here facing that way. I'm trying to put myself in a position where it's going to be harder for those guys to draw a bead. And I'm going to go ahead and precision strike. We just need like a little bit. Just a little bit more damage. Okay.
Come on, mech warriors. It's go time.
Sadly, I don't think the Hoplite's close enough to the Vindicator to be able to hit it with very many weapon systems. So we could do this, and that's a spider? I mean, we can hit it. Yeah, may as well. It feels like overkill a little bit. Well, maybe instead what it is no overkill? Is that... Everybody pretend you didn't hear that. That was not a that was not good enough to be worth saying. Here, we'll come around this way and we'll just blast him with the LB-20X and hope to get lucky. How much health does he have middle? Yeah.
Of course.
If any of the LB-20X projectiles make center contact, we're good. No, hit side.
Fired up. There's work to do.
I will say I'm happy with the fact that the crab looks kind of awkward and bad when Steamfitter's driving it. Not in the sense that I want to have an awkward and bad mech, obviously, but it helps to drive home the value of our other pilots, I guess is the way I want to put it. Like it makes it clear that the crab is not handling the work all on its own. I bet a mortar would scrape this dude. Right? Because it's going to do... How much damage? 10 to 50 damage per location. There's pretty good odds that it just kills the spider straight up. Yeah, I'm just gonna drop the mortar on his head, because otherwise we're not gonna use it this mission. And what fun would that be?
This is gonna be a beautiful kaboom.
I was gonna say, if it failed to get the kill, this is gonna be very embarrassing. Oh no, the assassin has beaten my evasion charges. See, the thing I don't get is, why doesn't everybody just drive a Marauder?
Minor damage, Commander.
If I were the mech pilot, I would simply have a Marauder. Alright, this is the turn where we actually do have to vent some coolant. I could have jumped, I suppose, if I knew I was going to vent. Ooh, actually, a jump might have kept me from firing everything, though. And if you don't fire everything, you don't get that. The whole reason I would have jumped in the first place would have been so that I could, fire the small lasers as well, and I wouldn't have been able to in the end, so... I guess it ended up not mattering.
Tell me what to shoot.
Awaiting orders. Be there in a jiff.
Right, if we just fire the... Okay, I can keep the lasers on too.
Yes, Commander.
There we go. I think they both might have hit center. Yeah. Did you see? The whole middle of the mech was missing as it fell over.
Let's go.
And now it's still going to make me actually kill the things. We should probably wipe out the turret too, just because, you know, sometimes there are hidden objectives.
Engaging jump jets.
I want to make sure we get as paid as we can get here. Am I going to be able to fire? No. No PPCs for me.
Engaging target.
Well, that thing's easy enough for somebody else to clean up then.
What can I do for you?
Uh-oh. Is it, though? I might have just gotten... Yeah, I just got the hard light shot by a shredder turret is what happened there. I have to remember that we have no... what do you call it?
On my way.
We have no indirect fire at all.
Roger that.
I'm reading heavy damage to an enemy structure. Bring it down.
To think, if I hadn't fired my mortar, I could just use it here. Let's give you a cooldown here. You know what? I'm gonna fire just the AC-10. That's a decent cooldown. Wow.
Recycling for another shot.
You know, it says 80% right there. I can see that that number's not 100. But part of my brain was like, how could he possibly miss it? It's
Reporting.
why it's as broad on this side as a barn would be.
Certainly. Target confirmed.
I might have too much faith in our employees, just in a general sense. Okay, we're gonna try that again, but this time with 2 weapons.
Good shot, Commander.
He did,
Enemy structure down.
he did miss one. Alright, well,
Write it down.
good thing I took the precaution then. Alright, do you maybe want to finish the job there? Okay. Now let's get this done and get the hell out of here. And then get off of this planet.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad we don't have to pay for ammunition.
Awaiting orders.
Because we go through kind of a lot of ammunition. I assume it's folded into
On target.
the monthly upkeep costs. Wow.
Bug out. Get to the LZ for extraction.
Trampoline and Steamfitter missed a really embarrassing number of their shots on those buildings, while their mechs were either nearly stationary or actually stationary. And yep, hidden objective, 10% extra money. Hooray. So is there anything that we want here at all? I guess finishing that Vindicator is a fine thing. Plus damage is great on missiles, but an LRM-5 pod is not necessarily something we're ever going to want to use. And that's a very good small laser. But how much do we need good small lasers? I don't think we actually have a completed Vindicator, right? I don't think so. Let's go ahead and wrap that up. One more for the point pile. It does feel bad to just, like, bail on this planet with so much money left here. But I think not dropping Pirate Rep any further is the right choice. And then we'll just try to, I might fly from place to place a little bit off camera and just do my best to push our rep back up into the next threshold, into the next quantum. So let's have a look around. We have a travel contract to there. I mean, we have this 4-skull mission, or this 4-skull flashpoint. It's 10 days away. It's going to award us some lost tech. We can do a 4-skull at this point with these mechs. Let's get repairs on the Warhammer. Alright, so 10 days of work. We definitely want to... I wish there was like a modifier key or something you could hold while hitting a repair button to throw that repair to the front of the queue, because I feel like that's a thing I want to do a lot. As things stand now, we could finish either the rifleman or the catapult before we would arrive, or we could finish both and just not do the flashpoint. You know, just sit there for 3 days, basically, and have both finished. I don't really know what I want to do. The catapult's pretty important. The rifleman is cool, but it's just more of what the Marauder is doing to a certain extent. The catapult has LRMs on it, and we really need a functional LRM mech. It's very helpful. Out of curiosity, what was the travel contract? We have a couple of travel contracts here. One against Davian for not a ton of money, and the other against the Free Worlds League for not a ton of money. Those are both fine. 2 and 2.5, taking us to a world that has a rating of, I'm going to guess, 2? Sorry, this 2.5. So it's not impossible that we could pick up some 1.5. Shoot, I can't remember. Do contracts on worlds vary by half a skull from the rating or a full? Whatever. We're not going that way. We're going to go ahead and do some flashpoints. Flashpoints have fun rewards. Not always great rewards, sometimes a lot less money than you would like, But in general, rewards. You know what what you can't say about them is that they don't have rewards. Alright, so short, non-consecutive deployments, we'll get some lost tech. I love lost tech. An agent of the Combine government has gone rogue. He must be prevented from sharing what he knows, and I believe that a mercenary solution is in order. Well, good news, it's the only kind we have. And it's a 2.5 skull world itself, it's probably going to be pretty garbage after the flashpoint. Alright, let's go. That sounds like fun. And boy, it sure is going to be nice to have LRMs again. At this point, I do not remember exactly what I equipped our other mechs with.
Hey boss, we've just completed those upgrades.
While pacing through the mech bay on a sleepless night, you stumble across Cruz. She's fiddling with a stock autocannon. A jumbled pile of loose metal and wire litters the deck plating around her. As you approach, Cruz looks up, a sheepish grin on her face. Hello, Commander. I was just trying to tune this beauty, maybe get a little more performance out of her. Could you do me a favor and keep this from the Chief, though? He's already shooed me out of here once this week. Yeah, man, yeah. I think we'll just let her keep doing it. Who knows? Maybe she'll fix it. I wish I knew a little bit more about stock. Okay, just a random AC5. Yeah, who cares? If she breaks it, it's whatever. I suppose that was in storage for a reason, so we can afford to lose it if things go wrong. Just be careful. These weapons are meant to destroy mechs, after all. Later that week, Cruz catches you in the hall with an update. Commander, I'm sorry to report I wasn't able to modify that weapon like I wanted to, but I was able to put it back together again just the way it was before. Double and triple checked it, just to be sure, and then we're gonna sell that one, just in case. Yeah, that's fine. I suppose it is at least possible that she could have been injured there, so maybe I should have told her to cut it out for that reason. Let's go ahead and take the last repair and refit upgrade because I really want my mech tech points. And then we'll worry about other stuff afterward. We're not taking enough injuries for medbays to seem critical to me. The training modules thing, I want to get done, but the mech tech points matter a lot. Like a lot. We have some things that have been in our work queue for... The fire starter. The fire starter is still in the work queue. We've got to get better at repairing stuff. And I mean, in a sense, it doesn't help that I made the ship faster, so we're spending less time in transit, and thus able to repair fewer mechs per trip. This is the cost of progress, I suppose. So Itzber had no pirate activity at all. We won't have to wave off of any missions. And like I said, I might do some low skull planets on my own off camera to see if I can't fix our pirate wrap up a little bit, because I would like to be able to take on things that are going to pay us a million sea bills or more. Alright, for the Draconis Combine, fighting Liao, which is... We've gotten ourselves into a weird position where Liao actually likes us, not the way the game usually goes. Let's see if we can fix that. Ah, Commander Corpsington. We are both busy people, so I won't mince words. I need you to set a lance down on this miserable backwater and ambush Liao Convoy, leaving no survivors. A simple task, yes? I'd go so far as to say that this job was beneath you, but I need this kill confirmed by someone I can trust, and your reputation speaks for itself. He doesn't remember us. He doesn't remember that we're the... That's fine. He's probably working with a lot of guys and also wine. That's easily within our capabilities, Shugo Yamaguchi. Is there anything about this convoy that we should know before we drop? Strictly speaking, no. But I see little harm in telling you why the convoy has to be destroyed. Perhaps it'll even help. There's a man, Yoshito Okada, a Korean diplomat. He fled to the Capellan Confederation with Combine state secrets. Now the Confederation guards him as jealously as a child might a cherished pet. I'll bet Korean defectors usually don't live very long. Regrettably, I must take my leave of you after this conversation is finished. I have important business that I must attend to on Hirotitus. And so I will leave you in the capable hands of Chu-i Gaku Hironaka of the Gallatin Regulars. This is a rank. Lance or platoon leader. Okay, equivalent to the rank of yeah, of course, obviously. He is a capable man, or so I'm told, and his soldiers have already established a presence on the planet's surface. I'm sure he'll make an excellent field contact. Yeah, we'll coordinate with him then. I hope that your business on Herotitus proves enjoyable. As do I, Commander. If not enjoyable, then at least diverting. But the odds are good. Herotitus enjoys a very special reputation. And so I will bid you farewell. Hironaka will speak with you himself momentarily. Be well, Commander Corpsington. So, you are Commander Corpsington. Shugo Yamaguchi claims that your mech warriors should prove adequate for the task at hand. I hope that his eagerness to visit his pleasure planet didn't lead him to overstate your virtues. That feeling goes both ways, Chewie Hironaka. And don't worry about us, our mech warriors are more than capable of destroying a slow-moving convoy. In that case, I invite you to prove it to me. You'll have the convoy's map coordinates shortly. See to it that every vehicle is destroyed, and confirm Okada's death. The Gallatin regulars will be monitoring your progress. Hironaka out. Well, that sounds like an easy and straightforward enough job that obviously it's not going to be easy and straightforward. Before we jump in, let's have a look at the store. But of course, before we can have a look at the store, we have to wait for the thing to load. Yeah. Show me cool stuff. I have all this money. I would love to spend it. Plus 10 stability damage. I mean, that's pretty unexciting. They do have a spare UAC-20 available, which we will absolutely buy. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and buy it right now.
New weapon systems available.
And frankly, I bet we could find a use for a UAC-2.
New weapon systems available.
And then, do I want to buy another one? I didn't even look at the number there. An LB-10X. Do we need one of these? To be perfectly honest, I'm not 100% certain we need the LB-20X that we have, and that one's all upgraded and stuff. I'm way less impressed with the LBX autocannons than I am with the UACs. I don't know. We'll think about it. Nothing terribly mind-blowing in this shop, but I am glad to have another UAC-20, just in case we lose the first one. Or maybe to replace that LBX. Here's the thing, if we put the other UAC on the Crab, we will never be able to fire both of them at the same time. But I guess we could, if we stripped the LBX, replaced its ammo bins with normal AC-20 ammo bins, and then put a UAC on each arm, we could just alternate fire? I guess that's not really that much better than having normal AC-20s on it. Well, except that way, when we alternate fire, we'll never be having a refire penalty, which if we were using dual AC-20s to get that same effect, they would both be firing constantly. And you know what? This is not worth worrying about right now. Let's do this thing. Smash Convoy. Seems relatively straightforward, he says, foolishly. How much priority salvage do we want? We don't know how many mechs we're going to see. The fact is, I don't really need weapons all that badly. I think we're in a pretty good spot as far as like attachments go, and I don't know how many pieces of salvage we're actually going to be able to get. Let's just roll it like this. 2 seems fine. Alright, so Thumper, take a back seat. Let's pull in the catapult. So you can see here, it has an LRM-20 and an LRM-15. Because this LRM-15 has +2 damage, which actually makes it more damaging than a stock LRM-20, which was the only other option we had. We don't have very many upgraded LRM-20s, unfortunately. So this is an awful lot of missiles. We have an awful lot of missiles in the bank, and then also it has a laser because I don't know. You could presumably run out of missiles. That's a thing that could happen. A couple of jump jets for positioning. Not super armored. Also, we should probably be pretty serious about the pilots. This one could be difficult. So who is the right pilot for this long-range catapult? Is it Tirefire? It might be. Probably, actually, the right move is Cruz gets off of the hoplite, because we probably want the heat management on the Crab. Tirefire drives the hoplite, because aiming. She actually has the exact same stat line as Cruz now. And then we put Sourdough. I mean, it doesn't make a ton of sense. Honestly, it's Uncrackable, right? Uncrackable's the one that should be in the catapult. Do we want the hoplite Driven by tire fire? Maybe we do want her in the catapult, because, like, breaching shot with the LRM-20 is pretty solid. 100 unbroken damage. She actually makes a good pilot for the crab, too, if only it was a little bit better at managing its heat. I mean, in a polar environment, though. Because obviously, breaching shot on the UAC is a big deal, and she has sensor lock. Yeah, actually, I kind of like that. We're not really going to need the heat management. Heat efficiency on the catapult is rated as fine. It's totally okay. I like Return to the Warhammer. I like having the bulwark plus the sure footing on the mech that's going to be right up in everybody's faces. And then I guess we just throw kind of whoever in the catapult. I guess I like Sourdough because of all the remaining pilots. She has the best aim. Yeah, there's definitely something to be said for putting a very high aim pilot behind the UAC-20. This is not traditionally how we have run things, and often I would like to see the crab with a defensive skill of some kind, but there are some who will tell you, and when I say some, I mean me, that defense is for people who don't know how to apply their offense hard and fast enough. You don't have to worry about the damage reduction and evasion properties of your mech if you just put 2 or 3 tons of metal through every enemy you meet the second you meet them. So that's going to be our strategy. That right there is my big, complicated stratagem. According to my scouts, Yoshida Okada's convoy is already moving through the AO you're touched down in. All you need to do is locate and destroy it. We're no strangers to this sort of work. Have you seen the robots? We'll run recon on the convoy, take it out, etc. We shall see. If you do succeed in destroying the convoy, proceed to the extraction point. The Gallatin regulars will then take command of the area to confirm your kill. If that's how you want to play it, knock yourselves out. Now let's cut the chatter. We've got a job to do.
You think we'll see
Darius does not seem to grasp what is happening here, but I do. I hope all of you do as well. So hold on. This is which cross is that? That's prevent them from reaching safety. This is their route. That's where they're going. Okay. So yeah, I mean this hillside's pretty good, right? I guess we mostly just want to run forward.
Coordinates received. I read you, Commander. Moving out.
Grabbing them as they pass here seems like the most natural thing. It gives us something to hide behind. It gives us some cover. Probably don't actually want you to get any closer to them than that. No readings yet.
You betcha.
Maybe I'm misreading and they're gonna... Oh, they're going to there. Okay. They're coming from that way, which means that this is actually not a good location. Hold on, let's
Primary target on
cross the road? No, okay. I was gonna try to get over here before we climbed up to meet them. Well, then you probably want to be like right around here.
Acknowledged.
Hey, we're seeing some big vehicles, right? Some big, nervous-making vehicles. There are some 80-ton vehicles that can do an awful lot of damage to a mech.
Don't need to tell me twice.
Let's just try to blow up as many of these as we can, as quickly as we can.
Standing by.
I probably just want to reserve down, like... We probably just want to let them come forward as much as possible, because we have all of our evasion right now. And also, I think there's a real good chance that they're not going to get in vision range of us,
Good to go.
for the most part. So why don't we have... You step forward and sensor lock that guy.
Sensors locked on.
Okay, a Demolisher. A good enemy to have applied an aim debuff to.
Ready for orders.
You have a target. So we have 480 missiles firing 35 per volley. It gives us an awful lot of volleys.
Roger.
I should have moved forward a little bit in order to see if I could get the large laser in range. Okay, that could be a lot worse. Obviously, it is unacceptable for them to have vision of us in any case, but that could have been a lot worse. Alright, the best case scenario here is now they drive another unit forward, just barely gaining vision of us, and then we marauder the hell out of it.
Waiting
But
on
it
you,
looks like
Commander.
it is not to be. Can't grab anything. I think I just send the marauder up here. Kind of wish I had sensor lock on this one.
Hell yes.
So obviously it's possible that there's new stuff
Waiting for the
with the expansion and everything. We've already seen some new vehicles, but my primary concern is that we're dealing with demolishers, LRM carriers, or SRM carriers from these really heavy vehicles.
Yes, Commander.
Not you. And we do have to kill that thing. We can't just let them have vision of us. So I guess let's jump over to here.
Engaging jump jets.
As much as I would prefer to use all of our mechs against the most dangerous classes of enemy.
Engaging target. Enemy unit destroyed.
A lot of those dangerous classes of enemy aren't actually that dangerous if the tanks can't see you. Also, we're going to be jumping around a lot just to generate evasion here.
Warning. Enemy
Okay,
sensor lock
that could be a
detected.
problem.
Receiving you. What can I do for you? On my way.
Who do I think? I mean, we'll have direct fire on these two, so I guess we just light one of these two up. Oh, those are both 60-ton, though. Which means they are not, they are definitely not demolishers. Let's get... Yeah, we're not going to have direct fire on either of these two. Let's get you. Okay, you are a demolisher. Well, that's what the catapult will shoot at. We can start softening it up now.
Go.
It's outside of maximum missile range.
Location confirmed.
That is quite some distance. There's still the weird issue with aiming missiles, it seems like. But if we aim for the front, that means it'll push the shots away toward the side armor, which is what we want.
Primary target damage. Concentrate your fire and bring it down.
Yeah, there you go. I can't believe that issue still exists.
Minor damage, Commander. Nothing to see here.
In theory, a manticore is, like, dangerous-ish.
Go.
I'm not going to try to tell you that manticores aren't at all capable of killing something, but it's definitely not the same class of threat, right? I'm a little worried that if I do this, the hoplite's going to become potentially a target for something I don't want to be shooting at it. So yeah, let's do this by falling back a little bit.
Moving out.
How much frontal armor do you have? Oh man, a really large amount actually. Okay, so they have sensor lock, but they don't seem to really have an ability to use the sensor lock for anything. Ah, that's a shame. Alright, Shrek PPC carrier is like a B tier threat. It matters, but it's certainly not the same thing as a pair of AC-20s. Alright, camera. Jeez. Okay, so this tank is definitely going to be able to get vision on us. And it's probably also a PPC carrier, is my guess. I can just run over here and get vision of those tanks. I mean, that's going to be a little bit dangerous. Does give me 5 evasion. Maybe it'll be good enough.
Engaging jump jets.
So SRM carrier, PPC carrier, and the damaged demolisher. I would say that the SRM carrier is probably, as much as I'm afraid of this thing, the SRM carrier is probably the highest priority.
Engaging target.
Fortunately, they're a little bit less heavily armored than some of the other, the really dangerous stuff. Okay, that's just also a demolisher, but it moves on too.
Waiting on you, Commander.
I didn't even realize, I think, that vehicles had pilots that could have Ace Tactician, but apparently that's a thing we got to worry about now. I guess in order to make sure that the demolisher actually goes down, I'm going to do one of these. Wow, for the first time in history, all the shots actually went where they were called on a vehicle. It's a little tricky because it's a little tricky to know whether or not the bug still exists, I guess, because we don't have a way of confirming it. All I can do is take actions that seem like they confirm or deny it. Alright, I'm going to move you to here.
Affirmative.
And we're going to split our fire. Lasers for you, UAC for you.
Right, Commander.
Wow. Both 70%. That's just real bad luck. That, on the other hand, was pretty damn good luck.
Move her down.
Oh, that's a bummer. Move to a position where we don't have vision of him. So I guess you're going to continue waiting for orders then. Okay, it's getting a little close there. I'm really worried about, like, I think we have to jump over because I need the evasion, but I'm definitely scared.
Engaging jump jets.
So we're gonna have to dump heat. Question is, do I think I need to fire this thing at the demolisher? If I don't fire this at the demolisher, then somebody else actually does have to kill the thing, but I could take out this PPC carrier pretty easily, and I think that's a better move because, like, we can get it right now. Let's get it right now, right? I'm not gonna fire everything. We could probably turn off all those. This is already overkill. But, like, you just want to make absolutely certain you're not missing in a situation like that, because I don't want it to be able to turn around and teamwork me into dust. I'm concerned that now if we aim for the right part, they're going to go everywhere else, and if we aim for the wrong part, they're going to go everywhere else. You know what? The front's a pretty safe aim at this point. The majority of the shots went to his right armor, it looks like.
One less vehicle.
He still got there.
I hear ya.
Now we have the hoplite, unfortunately not anywhere near able to kill a PPC carrier. Can I get close enough to it? I can get close enough to it to fire all of the stuff. And you know what? It's not as heavily armored as I thought it was.
Got it.
And maybe they did correct the vehicle bug. With percentage-based stuff, it's really hard to test and produce any data that I'd be confident saying one way or the other. Because any
Bye.
individual
Waiting on
test
orders.
would so easily just be weird randomness. Yeah, we don't fire everything, obviously.
Roger that.
Method inbound, Commander. I'll meet
Okay.
you at LZ.
I mean, that was a pretty harrowing amount of enemy that we
That's a
just had to get through
vehicle
there. An adequate showing, Commander Corpsington. For mercenaries, your people showed remarkable discipline. I mean, all we did was pull the trigger a lot. Glad to hear you're impressed. We'll meet you in orbit to collect our pay. Olivera out.
Mission successful.
Of course, it's a flashpoint, so you know ahead of time. It's not quite that easy. So we are not actually going to get a whole lot of value out of here. I mean, like, plus 10 damage medium laser is a pretty good piece of gear. Plus 10 damage PPC, unfortunately, like, 60 is the worst. If only they could be pushed up to 61. For some reason, arm mods? There were mech arm mods on some of those vehicles. Targeting systems, which are definitely interesting. So remember, plus 1 accuracy is 5% to hit. So honestly, these are not bad. But I think I'm almost certainly going to just take... I'm pretty torn, but like we're going to take one of these. And the question is, do we take the plus damage medium laser? Or do we take the other SRM 6++? Plus. You go through a lot of medium lasers in a campaign, and I sure do love 35 damage for 12 heat. Yeah, we'll take that, and we'll just hope to get the other. Part of my thinking there was, wow, they gave us 2 plus damage SRMs. Part of my thinking there was just that we don't actually have a lot of use for SRMs at the moment. Not necessarily going to remain the case, but right now, I don't know if we have any of our top weight class mechs equipped with SRMs at all. I'm trying to think about the ones that we haven't finished refitting yet, and I'm fairly sure we just have no SRMs. Commander Corpsington, I have unfortunate news. Your quarry has escaped you. Yoshida Okada wasn't a passenger on the convoy that you destroyed after all. Naturally, we will be withholding your pay until you find and eliminate him. Like hell you will. We put our mech warriors in harm's way based on your intel, Chewie Hironaka. If the target wasn't on the convoy, that's on you, not us. We upheld our end of the contract. House Kurita hired you to kill Yoshida Okada. On my honor, you will receive nothing until he is dead. Attend to your task or leave this system in disgrace. It makes little difference to me. The Gallatin regulars stand ready to succeed where you have failed. Screen cuts to static. Seems Chewie Hironaka has terminated the communication. Now you get what he's doing, right? That horse's ass deliberately fed us bad intel. He wanted us to hit the wrong convoy. He wants us to wash our hands of the job so his regulars can take all the glory. This is bullshit, boss. If we do the job, we're working 2 gigs for the price of 1, but if we tell him to screw himself, we don't get paid at all. I'm thinking we should take option C. We find the building he's broadcasting from, put it under siege, and force that bastard to pay up. If we do that, we tank our reputation with House Kurita. It may not be fair, but it's a fact. Your call, Commander. Do we track down the real Yoshida Okada and finish the job, or do we make Chewie Hironaka pay us what he owes us at gunpoint? Either way, we're going to have to drop immediately. Gallatin regulars aren't going to wait around for us to conduct repairs. So when they talk about us not being able to do repairs, they're just talking about structure stuff. You always get your armor back between missions, even if you have to drop immediately. Yeah, I think we go after Hironaka. we could, I suppose, take it to the MRB. That doesn't really feel like large John Corpsington style. We're gonna go mess this dude up, take our money, and then maybe we'll do the other job. But if we do 2 jobs, we get paid twice. We get paid for our work, period. I say we go with Yang's idea and force Hironaka to pay up. If that's what you want to do, we'll do it. I gotta admit, it's gonna feel nice to wipe the smile off Hironaka's face. I just hope it doesn't wind up costing us in the long run. Come on, what disadvantage could there possibly be? So, I mean, there's no reason to make any changes at all, right? It's a polar mission again. We're dropping a lance that is more than capable of the difficulty we're being told this has. And honestly, I think this is a reasonably well-balanced crew. It's probably the case that we should try to build up something of a close quarters mech, a mech that fits the Warhammer role, that plays a little bit better in the heat. Like, I still think the Warhammer is going to perform better than the Griffin was performing in hot circumstances, but we could take a bunch of missiles, mount them on something, and like missiles have a pretty good damage to heat ratio. Granted, they don't have the same sensor damage, sensor debuff as the PPCs, and I am learning to enjoy having that active on some enemy pretty much all the time. Although, you know what, now that I say that, do we have the sensor debuff active on enemies all that often? It's very often the case that the Warhammer shoots at something and that thing dies immediately. I guess that's a pretty good sensor debuff too, though. Samaria was able to trace Chui Gaku Hironaka's transmissions to a structure just ahead. The Gallatin regulars that Hironaka surrounded himself with aren't going to make this easy. They're real-deal Draconis Combine military, so expect a challenging fight. Fight your way through the opposition, seize the facility, and we'll force Hironaka to authorize payment. Yeah, I mean,
Let's make snowmen.
I'm not necessarily... Well, man, the camera. I'm not necessarily opposed to just murdering the hell out of him. You know, we could get paid, or we could make an example. Either one of these things is fine. You have 3 jump jets, so yeah, we can get our long-range mechs up on this hill. I don't know if that's actually going to work out as a long-term strategy. Oh, we don't even have to jump. We have a nice ramp to run up.
Heading out.
But I figure putting some mechs up on here will give our crab... Oops, that's the wrong... Yep, I just ran the Warhammer up there. Well, whatever.
Taking the high road.
He'll jump down next turn. This gives our crab time to circle around. Real deal Combine military, huh? 20 tons.
Good to go.
It's an embarrassment is what it is. Who runs a 20-ton mech on purpose? Apparently they have vision of me? That's interesting. I would, do you have a reading anywhere? Yeah, I would love to know where they have vision from. They do a sensor lock? I don't think they did. They must have a mech that has, an advanced rangefinder or something.
I hear ya.
Well, that's very interesting.
Got it.
Thunderbolt 5S. Okay, that's like a real-ish mech. Does he store his missiles in the center torso? Of course he does. Because why wouldn't he? Oh, that's a shame. I'm in his side arc. Well, if we put him on the ground, then the Marauder can peel him open pretty easily, probably. Ooh, wow, we'd really have to... We'd have to hit with quite a lot of damage to put him on the ground. I'm confident going for it.
All weapons are go.
Okay, we got all the way there. I was gonna say, one of the UAC shots missed, so I assumed we didn't get it. But I don't know if you know this. Our mechs have a lot of gun on them. We do some damage. I'm a little bummed out that we can't find a direct angle for the laser. So we want to move this way instead. And I mean, we don't have to necessarily be super careful about giving that guy line of sight on us, because he is only 20 tons. Then again, I suppose there's the danger of him being a spotter for the turrets. Well, let's actually have somebody else go first then. How about you? Can you jump? You can jump forward, but that's it. Not down into the forest. Well, you know what? This'll do. What are we looking at over here? A locust backed up by maybe another locust.
orders.
Oh, looks like they may not be using their turrets in any meaningful way.
Good to go.
So we have cruise and the catapult left. Alright, I'm going to move up to here and I
Position
think
confirmed.
just sensor lock him?
I've got a sensor lock.
Try to make life a little bit easier for Cruz. It's always weird to me when they have a shot with some turrets,
Waiting on you, Commander.
but they just pass the turn instead of doing anything, and then the next time it's their turn, then they fire.
You betcha.
Ah, that's a shame. I feel like we're shooting way below expected hit value today. We definitely need to break their line of sight advantage. If they're just going to swarm us with tiny mechs, though, that can be very difficult to do. Tiny mechs plus sniper support. It's actually a pretty good strategy. That said, if we can jump down into the trees close enough, we have all these small lasers all over the mech, which will make short work of this
Ready for
locust.
orders.
I don't think I want to do anything.
Reserving action.
Okay, that is definitely within small laser range, and also provides vision to one of the turrets. A turret that must die. Very important. Maybe important enough that we ignore the mech I jumped down here to shoot at. Yeah. A heavy shredder turret is capable of putting out an awful lot of damage.
Engaging target. Target destroyed.
Waiting for orders.
Your mech has to be very, very powerful indeed to be in a place where a heavy shredder turret doesn't have the capability to kill you.
Got a lock.
Granted, with something like the Warhammer, it would have had to get pretty lucky
Waiting
because
for orders.
the AC-20 would have had to have carved a hole that of the SRMs then successfully fired into. But like that's a thing that can absolutely happen. Alright, I am under no illusions that we will be
Did you see it?
closing up enemy vision here, because I just don't think the crab's going to be able to kill that locust. But we will continue to stomp forward. I think the Warhammer can take another turn or two of punishment, especially now that we've managed to get into cover.
Coordinates received.
That's an LRM awesome. You know what? I'm just going to shoot at that, actually. Don't think I want to spend... Yeah, I don't want to spend the resolve. We'll just get started here. It's going to take a lot to put him down. He has 1,200 total armor.
Warning. Enemy sensor lock detected. Damage minimal.
Hell yes.
Alright, please, yes. I was going to say, please move this way because I really want to put the Warhammer behind this thing, but I still want to have small laser range.
Receiving you.
That injury resistance cockpit is getting tested a little bit. If I shoot at you from back here, that's still large laser range, right? No, it is not. I mean, I don't really want to move forward, but I do want to get all of the weapon systems in.
Confirmed.
Yeah, and I think we want to get started on this guy. So, where does he keep his ammunition? In the center torso. Like, it's not 100% as crazy as I'm making it sound. Your center torso tends to be the place that has the most armor, for obvious reasons, because, you know, you need it to keep the mech alive. So there's like pretty obviously a thought there that you keep the mech safe by keeping the ammo behind all the armor. And it's entirely possible that enemies that come after you will just never generate a critical hit. But it's so easy for one thing to go wrong in a way that's totally
Good to go.
debilitating. If you do it that way, I've never ever feel comfortable with it.
Don't
I'm
need
pretty
to tell
annoyed
me
that
twice.
punch didn't end up working out better than it did. I think we're just going to go ahead and splatter this dude. the Warhammer needs to not lose a leg here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a
Took a
that's
hit
a
to get
considerably better build of awesome than the one that's just all of the PPCs. Oh, you're kidding me. I cannot quite make it into cover. Well, does this mean that I want to use vigilance? No, I think I want to precision strike and just trust the armor. We put an awful lot of metal on the front of this crab.
there. All weapons are go.
Alright, well, I mean, that's an awful lot of armor we
Critical
just
hit,
peeled off.
Commander.
So he's close to losing his large laser and one of the LRMs, and those ammo pods are open. Yeah, so we just gotta endure one turn of this, and then their spotter will be down. It's a real easy pickup.
Commander.
Objective complete. You're clear to move on.
Tango down.
Alright, what do you think? Is that going to be the end of them? I don't know. I'm expecting at least one more Lance of Mechs. Alright, got eyes on the safe house. Keep your eyes open when you engage. Gallatin regulars have been fighting since the time of the Star League. They're experienced and dangerous. Be advised, it looks like they brought point defense turrets online. Darius, you gotta pay more attention, man. There have been point defense turrets. They have been online.
Engaging target. Target destroyed.
I hear ya.
God, some PPCs are very good, huh? Just like really great
I read you,
weapons.
Commander. Moving out.
We gotta remember, at least one of the enemies has had sensor lock. I don't know if it was the mech or one of the turrets. We could still sustain some
Moving
fire.
fast.
It looks like it was probably the mech. Oh boy, do I want to jump this deep? No, let's do this in a slightly safer way. We'll only trade vision with one of them.
Engaging target.
Nah, I probably should have just gone forward. I was so worried that, like, I'm gonna miss a shot, and then I'm gonna have two turrets bearing down on me, and I won't be able to deal with either of them. Maybe
Waiting for the
playing
right
it a little
move.
bit too safe.
Good to go.
Yeah, just move to
Right,
here and
Commander.
lock.
Sensors locked on. Orders. On the move. Engaging. What can I do for you?
Oh, do we... Yeah, I guess... AC-5s are not actually sniper cannons. They are not intended for this sort of work.
Roger that. Firing on target. Bang! You're dead. Standing by.
You know what? No, don't do anything you just yet. Let's get you in the zone. We'll just run through some of the buildings on their base. Just, you know, make our point clear.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Crab probably also has to move up.
Coordinates received.
You can maybe stay exactly where you are.
Roger that. Digging in.
And this guy gets up here.
On my way.
Alright, let's see what they do.
I'm picking up a new sensor trace. Looks
Yep.
like enemy reinforcements.
And these will be the heavy ones. 75, 65, 70.
To go.
No big surprises there. I might actually want to advance. What I really want to do is end up over here, actually. I just don't have the jump jets to make a move in this direction, apparently.
Hi.
But yeah, I wanna end up on this landmass over here. Maybe like, well, these trees would be okay.
Standing by.
So you have to be a little bit cautious with the Warhammer because the armor on that leg is getting a little bit thin. Just got to make sure that we are thinking about that when we jump in. Yeah, a little bit really thin. So if we jump to here and turn like this, what am I... If I turn like this to really only show my left side, I'm excluding the 65 ton from my targeting. That's probably fine. So what are we looking at here? A catapult. Ooh, a black knight, which is an awful lot of lasers. And a grasshopper, which is also an awful lot of lasers. These are good mechs. These are big, dangerous, good mechs. Let's try to put down... And of course they all have bulwark. Sorry, 100% of the ones I can actually target have bulwark. The black knight is less armored than the grasshopper and actually more damaging. So once again... They've made a small tactical error. And I don't think we want to mess around with these things. I think we want to just core. Because, like, this is... We're in actual danger here.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Fortunately, it turns out there are very few things that a tight grouping from a pair of snub PPCs cannot
Coordinates
correct.
received. Special delivery.
We got pretty lucky with the PPC damage. Still a lot to shoot through.
Commander?
Oh man, and it really sucks that you are not able to contribute in any way, but you gotta get over here.
Give them everything you've got.
Alright, this is gonna be a rough turn. I'd love to get a direct shot on the grasshopper. Ooh, or the Black Knight, rather. We might be able to get this kill. If we... I'm shooting through 40% reduction. Yeah, there's way more than enough damage here to get this done.
I copy.
But LRM clustering, you can never be sure.
Hostile eliminated.
Okay, well. Turns out that's a Jaeger mech. This is not only a lance of 4 big mechs, it's a lance of 4 good big mechs, which is just a terrible outcome for us, really. So you have 120, 105 center. I think we might actually be best off trying to shear off one of the missile pods on this thing. We could try to knock it on its ass, take out a leg. Ooh, hold on. The Jaeger mech's not actually in cover at all. That's probably the focus, because Jaeger mechs do a lot of damage, but look at how thin the armor is. Yeah, we just try to core that thing. I think I'm far enough back. I should be able to pull it off. Wait, I'm in his side arc, really? Where's his circle? It's like obscured by the terrain. No,
Waiting
sorry.
on you, Commander.
I have the right guy. I just want to... Okay. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get a frontal shot. All right. Well, we could focus deep on torso section here and try to just blow through it. What's his leg look like? Ooh. That's pretty vulnerable. I'm going to go for it. Yeah, we can do enough damage here.
Here we go.
Stupid trees. Also, what are these trees made out of? Because I hit the tree with the AC-5, and it just took it and is still standing there.
Warning. Armor breached. Internal damage.
How bad? How bad is this damage? It is not bad. It's the same damage, actually. It's some very familiar damage. Alright, I think we want to... Do I want to try to focus on the Jaeger mech? Probably. That puts me in a real bad position vis-a-vis the damage of this catapult, though. There's not really a way out of that. I have to basically decide whether I think it's worth it to shoot at the catapult or not. I think I'm going to go ahead and turn to the right, and we'll just hope that he hits the arm instead of the leg. And we're going to try to kill the Jaeger mech. Maybe not try to kill, but I'm going to shoot at the Jaeger mech. Okay, that's not exactly the outcome I was hoping for. And he sure did hit that leg.
Warning. Armor breached. Internal damage.
You can tell from the fact that he only fired one weapon that he was not expecting to make any contact at all. Alright, you I don't necessarily need to go after this. Why don't we just dump everything in the catapult? Man, that catapult's got some evasion, though. Because we can get rid of the Jaeger mech. That's a thing that can happen. Maybe I give the Jaeger mech... No, I think I just give the Jaeger mech everything. Let's just be rid of it. Wow, I had to remove almost all of that mech structure.
Mech destroyed.
It's a very messy kill.
Show 'em what you got.
It does really show how far we've come, though, right? Like, in the early game, a messy kill is a kill that takes, like, 10 turns of shooting, because your mechs are just doing such piddly little bits of damage to everywhere. At this point in the campaign, a messy kill is something that does go down considerably faster. So what's the difference between the torso sections? It's fairly large. I think we probably just want to focus center. The legs of heavier mechs are usually a lot tougher. It's not really that true with this one. But yeah, I think we want to just focus center. This is going to push him down to 1 initiative, and then we have enough resolve to... Oh no, never mind. No, we don't. Oh no, we totally do. Yeah, we have enough resolve for 1 more aim shot. I think we can get it. Wow. Something is wrong with his torso calibration. Yet those lasers just going absolutely everywhere. So, jumping down and shooting him in the front is actually better than jumping down and shooting him in the back. Which is kind of a shame. Because I really don't want to be in front of him. It makes our lives a little bit tricky dealing with the grasshopper.
You betcha.
I think we'll go for this. Let's see if this solves the issue. Because it could. We have enough damage.
This should be good.
Oh, it looks pretty good. Yeah, and then now we don't have to make a decision. We can just shoot the grasshopper in the back. Can I shoot the grasshopper in the back from cover and get my medium laser involved? Yes. We don't get everything else at this range. I'm wondering if I should maybe delay and try to do a sensor lock with the crab. Maybe the crab is in punch mode. Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for a sensor lock. Wait, no, it's yeah, Tire Fire has sensor lock. Let's just reserve down and let that happen.
I've got a sensor lock.
Okay. Now we go for this.
Engaging jump jets.
And I'm sure I'm going to have to... Yep. That's fine. We were prepared. Right, let's see how he likes this. To be perfectly honest with you, I was kind of expecting another twist in there. That was a little more straightforward than I thought it was going to be. Alright, we've got Hironaka right where we want him. Speak of the devil, he's hailing us now. You miserable fools! House Kurita will have your heads for this! Says the man who just humiliated himself and the DCMS on the battlefield. You're in a lot more trouble than we are, Hironaka. But you've got more immediate worries.
Mission successful.
Yeah, plus at this point, Yamaguchi's used to us just kind of doing whatever. And it always works out for him. I'm sure he'll be fine with this outcome. He did not bring us in thinking that we were going to stick to the letter of the assignment. Then again, maybe he did because he clearly didn't remember who we were. That's some fairly serious damage. So what do we get? We get 2 pieces? That's pretty compelling. So I like this version of the awesome, but I think we'd be fools not to take a 3rd piece of the Black Knight. And a finished grasshopper is a big, big deal. I feel like we skipped like a couple whole tiers of mechs. There's this whole like Thunderbolt phase that most campaigns go through, I feel like. You just skip straight to the Marauders and the Grasshoppers. There's supposed to be a place in there where you get to play with a dragon for a little while before you realize that unfortunately it's just built very awkwardly with like the engine weight and stuff. But boy, it sure is fun to use it for a while.
That mech you asked for is cleared for fighting.
Alright, the Grasshopper is a killer that specializes in hunting down light and medium mechs. Basically what he means by that is it's a real good chaser. That's good. We need chasers. Wait, I think I hit the wrong button there. No, that was right. That's sent the Javelin to storage and put the Grasshopper in the bay. I hope. So, you have turned traitor, attacked your employer's soldiers, held us at gunpoint, and extorted payment for a job that was left unfinished. The Legion Eternal are finished, Corpsington. Do you hear me? Those who betray the dragon will suffer for their crimes. Yeah, I am way less afraid of you than I was of the Thresher. And that's a real chicken and the egg problem going on here, Gaku. See, you betrayed us after we did what you contracted us for. Then we pulled our guns on you. That isn't turning traitor. It's having the guts to stand up to a small man whose hunger for glory is stronger than his common sense. I will kill you, Oliveira, slowly. I will kill every one of you for what you've done today. Yeah, you knock yourself out trying to make that happen, Gaku. We'll be back on the frontier counting our money. The Cretan soldier's image abruptly disappears from your view screen. You can almost taste his rage as his image flickers and dies. Well, put him in his place. How do you think Shugo Yamaguchi will react? Poorly. We'll be on House Kurita's shit list for a while. But on the plus side, we've proven that we won't take any shit from their middlemen. In the long run, that's probably good for business. And better yet, we got paid, and that's always a reason to celebrate. I'm gonna go pop open a Quiller Fizz in the company mess. If anyone would like to join me, or indulge in something stronger perhaps, you're more than welcome. We just won, so let's act like it. I was already acting like it. The thing with the giant robots is my celebration. Also, that's like a decent amount of money. Got ourselves a fancy AC-5, a small pulse laser. 40 damage for 11 heat. It's an alright weapon. Only out to 90 meters, though. It's fine. That's a fine weapon. +2 hit defense gyro's awesome. Piece of a Cyclops is awesome. Another small laser. Yeah, alright. Not too bad. And it wasn't actually that dangerous either. I almost never install viewfinders, but the viewfinder we got from that was also pretty good. That extra vision distance can be very valuable when you're doing things like sighting for your autocannons and stuff. Alright, well, I think that was a very productive day, and we only almost lost one of our very, very good mechs. So that's going to be it for us for now. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time on Monday, when we will have some kind of plan, and surprise, surprise, it's going to involve blowing some stuff up. We'll see you then.